Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our free July webinar, July of 2023, Attracting the Right Clients, Unlocking the Power of Clear Marketing Messaging. I'm so excited that you're joining me today. And today's webinar is really an extension of the webinar that we did last month, in which we talked about creating value. So now we're going to talk about then how do we communicate what we do and how we do it effectively to clients through clear marketing messaging. As you're joining me, let me know in the chat. Do you like marketing? I'm going to change the question today. Let me know in the chat. Do you like marketing? And while I'm waiting for you to respond to me in the chat, as I said before, this webinar is a continuation of last month, in which, if you recall, we talked about tacos and all the different kinds of tacos and equated that to the value that we provide to clients and understanding that there are different levels of value. Excuse me. So as you're joining me in the chat, let me know, do you like marketing? And so that way I'll know that you can hear me. And then in the meantime, hopefully I'll stop being so raspy. And typically when I start these webinars, there's about a 1 to 2 minute lag from the time that I start talking and the time that you can hear me. And so therefore I have to sit here and kind of make up things to say until until I see you in the chat. So there we go. Uriel says, not really. Jackie does not like marketing. So let me know in the chat as you're joining, do you like marketing? Uji says, hello, Veronica. Hello, welcome. Laura says, not much, but ready to learn. Alona says, I do not like marketing. And hold on, now everybody's chiming in. Danielle says, if it gets results, yes. And Martina says, hello, not really. Brooke says, I don't hate it, but I feel I spend too much time thinking about it. I have been there. Jean says, no. Hi, Janice. How are you? Amanda says no. So a lot of you, I know that you don't like marketing. And in fact, I used to not like marketing. I was scared. I actually was very scared of doing any sort of marketing, talking to people I didn't know, putting myself out there. And even after I started doing marketing, I was frustrated because there's not a one-to-one ratio of like, if I do this much marketing, then I'm going to get these kinds of results. It's very much something that you have to do and then see what works. And so it can be frustrating. And looks like Deanna was saying in the chat that she cannot hear. So perhaps Jessie or someone can let her know what to do so she can hear. Michelle, hi, Michelle. She says she hates marketing. And Leisha says, hello, welcome. Samantha, okay. Eveline says, I'm new and I don't know how to niche yet, so I'm confused in how to attract the right clients. So we'll talk about that. And so, yeah, many of you probably don't like marketing, and that's why you're here. And so we're going to talk about the thing that I think many of you are challenged by and probably don't even know it. And it has to do with the marketing messages that you're putting out. And sometimes it's even the messages you don't even know you're putting out that you actually are. And I see Adrian says, hello, welcome, Adrian, Lisa, Deanna. Deanna can hear now. Great, Deanna, fantastic. So again, welcome everyone. So as I said before, we are talking about attracting the right clients and unlocking the power of clear marketing messaging. In case you don't know who I am Veronica Wasek. I'm the founder of the 5MB Academy, where I educate and mentor bookkeepers to become more confident bookkeepers and business owners. I'm the CEO and founder of Mavency, where we specialize in bookkeeping and consulting for Shopify sellers. I'm the founder of the 5-Minute Bookkeeping YouTube and blog. YouTube channel rather, and blog, a founder of the Facebook group 5-Minute Bookkeeping Community. I am a top 10 as well as a top 100 QuickBooks Pro advisor. I'm a CPA, and also certified advanced in QuickBooks Online. I live in Sugar Land, Texas, right outside of Houston. So it's very hot here right now. And you can find me on Instagram at 5 Minute Bookkeeping and at Veronica Wasek. And Grace says she tries hard to like marketing. Some of us have to force ourselves. My husband and I have a beautiful 90-acre farm in Central South Texas near Houston, San Antonio, and Austin. And we spend most of our Fridays and Saturdays out there working, whether it's hot or cold, we are there. And if you follow me on my Instagram account at Veronica Wasek on Instagram, then you'll get some of my farm updates as well as other updates that I post on Instagram. Some administrative announcements. All content, handouts, and recordings are under copyright, and you may not record this webinar. We do provide handouts to you. You should see that already in your webinar window. If not, we will email the recording and the handouts to everyone who registered to attend. So even if you have to leave early, you will get the recording and the handout. Today I have with me Jessie Harris. She's one of my amazing team members, and she'll be in the chat. If I mention something, she'll give you links, and she may also respond to you in some cases. And let's see, chats and so we'll use the chat to talk amongst ourselves, and I will sometimes ask you questions. You can answer those in the chat. We will have time for Q&A, or I hope that we will have time for Q&A. Put those in the Q&A tab. That is where I monitor the questions. And I already talked about the recording being sent to you together with the handout. So what's the agenda for today? We're going to talk about how we keep sending out the wrong message. We're going to even talk about what's messaging, because you may not even know what that is. We're going to talk about effective marketing messaging. So now if we know what messaging is, how do we do it effectively? We'll talk about some examples of messaging in action of like some of the accountants and bookkeepers who I think are doing a great job with their marketing messaging. And then I'm going to give you live feedback. So be ready, because when we go into that section, I'm going to ask you to, if you're comfortable, to share your either like your Facebook page or your website page for me to give you live feedback about your messaging, about your marketing. And I'll let you know when that is. So as I said, what is our problem? And this may be a problem that you don't even know that you have. So the reason I put together this webinar is because last month we talked about value and communicating value. And many of you told me in the chat and in the Q&A that, well, okay, I understand this, but why is it that I keep getting these clients who they're tire kickers, they're cheap, they don't value me? Why is it that I keep still finding these clients? And so part of that issue, or part of that problem, is there's something wrong with your messaging. You're not sending out the right message in your marketing. So we keep sending the wrong message. And as I said, it's those clients that are cheap, they don't value us, maybe they're abusive sometimes, they don't treat us well. And so what are we doing wrong to attract those kinds of clients? And then we'll talk about how do we even attract the right clients. So what are some of the wrong messages that we keep sending? Well, the messages that we send are about, or that we're not sending sometimes. So sometimes we're saying things and sometimes we're not saying the right things. They have to do with who we work with, what we say that we do, our pricing, the value that we provide, your company name possibly might be sending the wrong message, your brand colors, just your marketing. There are many ways in which you can send the wrong message. So let's dive into some of the ways in which we're doing that. Okay, so who we work with and what we say that we do. Okay, so and I talked about the fact that I have a Facebook group. So we have a Friday self-promo day. People can say they can promote themselves on that thread every Friday. And I see a lot of you saying the same types of things. For example, I specialize in restaurants, for example. I specialize in restaurants, but I work with nonprofits, construction companies, law firms, and even more. So what you're really saying is, I think I have a niche, but I'll take anybody else because I'm not really confident that I can get clients on just my niche. So that's what that is saying. And then it's saying, really, you can't make up your mind. There are others of you who are saying, I provide low cost, affordable services. Well, what you may be saying then is, I provide cheap services. And then you may be attracting the clients that are the tire kickers and who only want to pay $50 a month for bookkeeping. There are some of you who are saying, I do bookkeeping for small business owners. Well, maybe that is just too broad. You're not really being specific about who you work with and how you can help them. Or, hi, I'm Judy, and I'm taking you bookkeeping clients. That's great, but you're not talking directly to an ideal client about what they need from a bookkeeper. You're just saying, I'm taking clients. Okay, what kind of clients? Who do you work with? So it's too broad. Next one, I'll work for you for free in exchange for practicing on your books. And maybe you're not saying it that way. You're not probably saying not practicing, but that's what you're saying. When you're offering to work for free with someone, what you're saying is that they're the guinea pig and you're going to practice on their books. And another one, I just started my bookkeeping business and I'm looking to gain experience. Okay, you never want to tell a client that that's what you're doing because it's just saying that you're brand new and you don't know what you're doing. And so, and I'm sorry if you have said some of these things on social media or this is on your website or your Facebook page, but I'm telling you the truth in love so that now you can know that some of these things, even you might be saying it in a certain way, but it's really saying something else to the person reading your messaging or your marketing messaging. Or let's say that you go to a networking event, a live networking event, and you're out there saying like, hey, I'm a bookkeeper, I'm an accountant. And then somebody says, well, do you have a business card? Like, oh no, I don't have a business card. Or well, here's this, I have this in my wallet and it's all wrinkly and old. What it's saying is that you're not a serious business owner. Another way in which, in my opinion, you're saying you're not a legitimate or serious business owner is when you have an email address that is not at your domain name. So for example, bookkeepingbyjane@gmail.com. So that's showing that you haven't taken the time to buy a domain name and show that you are a serious business owner. And believe me, I started also this way with whatever my company name was at gmail.com. But ultimately, that is showing that you are not a legitimate business. And so, again, sometimes we're doing these things and it's sending a message and it's sending the wrong message. And then again, why do we keep finding the wrong types of clients? So what all of this does is that then we lack clarity in our messaging. We lack either we're not clear about who an ideal client is or we're not saying the right things to them. It means that then we are sending the wrong message. And then that leads to no clients or bad clients. And then we keep getting confused as to why do I keep finding, maybe I'll get clients if I give them a really big discount and then you get the wrong clients. Or, well, maybe if I'll find clients if I don't charge them at all and offer to work for free, and then you get the wrong clients. Or again, maybe I'll get a good client if I offer to do their cleanup for free so I can get the monthly work. And again, you don't get the right client. So what it leads to is that we get bad clients, as I said, no clients, or we keep competing on price because we're not differentiating ourselves from others. And Samantha says, don't apologize. We can't learn from our mistakes if we don't realize we're making them. Thank you. Well, good. And, again, I always teach from basically all the mistakes that I've already made. And so whatever I'm saying to you, I have made all those mistakes already. And it took me many years to figure them out. And that's why I'm so passionate about educating you, because I can help to accelerate your journey by just sharing about the things that I've done wrong. All right, so let's talk about what is messaging. And sometimes you may hear me say sometimes I use the word positioning, but it's the message that we're sending. So what is messaging? It's effectively communicating how you want to be perceived by your ideal client. So it's effective communication on how we want to be perceived, so that you can differentiate yourself from others, and so that ideal clients feel like they already know you and are convinced that you're the only one who can help them. And notice that is very different from a client trying to decide between bookkeeper A and bookkeeper B, because most of the time, if we're not doing anything in terms of differentiation and effectively communicating why we're different, the only thing they can compare is price. And that's why we keep competing on price. And then we keep thinking we have to lower our price. So in order to amplify our marketing message effectively, then we have to have clarity into what that message is, which will lead to us then putting out the right message, which then will lead to right clients. All right, let's talk about effective marketing messaging. So how do we do that? Well, we need to amplify our message in 3 ways. It must be clear, it must be concise, and it must be consistent. So let's look at those. First of all, your message has to be clear. You have to speak clearly and directly to your ideal client. So remember when I said, like, hey, I'm Susie and I'm taking small business clients. Okay, you're not speaking to anyone, because when you speak to everyone, you're speaking to no one. And so we have to be clear on who is that ideal client. That means that you're going to have to figure out who an ideal client is for you, which may be different from someone else. You may like to work with startups, or maybe you like to work with a particular niche, or you work with only QuickBooks Online businesses that are service-based. We work with e-commerce clients. You need to figure out who an ideal client is, and then go even deeper than that, not just what industry, but even it may be the size, location, some of the specific needs that they have, whether they're tech savvy. My mentoring group and I were talking about the other day about, okay, you have to go to this client's office and scan all their documents, and they're not a tech savvy. So do you want to now have to buy a scanner? Are you going to serve other non-tech savvy clients, or do you need to decide that from now on you will only work with tech savvy clients? So be very specific about who an ideal client would be for you. Even what are their likes, what are their dislikes, and make a list. So my assignment to you to gain clarity into your marketing message is, number one, to identify who is an ideal client for you and make a list of what all those things are. Second way of effectively amplifying your marketing message is you need to be concise. So you need to be short and to the point, focused on your ideal client's biggest needs and the value that you provide. I see some of you, and I see your marketing materials, and even just landing on someone's website, and there's all this text, A busy business owner cannot read all that text, and we're very much conditioned now. We need to have video or images or something that catches our eye, just because even for me now, if I see too much text, my brain checks out. And so we need to be short and to the point, and as I said, focus on our ideal clients' biggest needs and the value that we provide. So your second assignment then is, okay, the first assignment was, who is an ideal client? We're going to make a list. The second assignment is, what are their biggest needs? What are the biggest problems that they have with their bookkeeping, their accounting, with their business? And you're going to have to do some research. I use YouTube a lot to research and to see what people are looking for in terms of what their needs are. And so that is your assignment. Then make a list of all the problems that your ideal client has and the ways in which you can help them. And then number 3, you must be consistent. You have to have a cohesive message throughout all of your marketing materials, your website, your social media, etc. There are some of you who are doing a great job, let's say on Instagram, and you're doing a great job if you're talking directly to an ideal client and about their needs. But then people go to your website, and your website looks like it's somebody else's website because there's no consistent messaging between what you're saying on social media and what's on your website or what's on your Facebook page or other marketing materials or even on your LinkedIn. And so you have to take the time to make sure that for all your social media profiles, if you have a website, for your Facebook page, that you have a consistent message throughout, because otherwise there's a disconnect of like, hey, let's say, for example, I'm a chiropractor and you're talking to me, you're a bookkeeper for chiropractors. Great. Well, I'd like to find out more about you. And then you send me to your landing page and you're no longer talking to a chiropractor. You're just talking about, I work with all sorts of clients. And so there's that disconnect. And what I found in my own marketing is that the more that I talk directly to my ideal client in a way that they felt I was talking directly to them, the more effective my marketing message was, and the more effective I was at finding clients. All right. Key components of your message. So what needs to be in your marketing message? Part of what needs to be in your marketing message is about you, your headshot, your story, what you're passionate about, your interests. Many of you lack that information in your marketing materials. And so again, there's that disconnect. People want to do business with real people. And so if we just say like, hi, I'm Veronica, and I love bookkeeping and numbers. Okay, I've told them part of what I do, but perhaps there needs to be other information about me so they can make a connection. I remember when I started the webinar, I told you what I do, and then I showed you the pictures of my farm. So I gave you a glimpse into other things that I do in my life and where I spend my weekends. And so it's important to share some information about us. We don't have to tell people everything. You can decide what you're going to share, but it's important for us to share that so that we can make a connection with the types of clients that we want to work with. And remember, as I said, the goal was that we can work with clients who are convinced that they want to work with us. Part of that is letting them into parts of our life so that they can make those connections. Next, you want to include who you work best with. This is very important on your LinkedIn profile, on your Facebook page, on your social media. If you have a website, on your website, you should have a section of I work best with, or we work best with, and then list the things that are important to you. So if you work best with service-based businesses with revenues over $500,000, with clients who are committed to having a lasting relationship, and whatever, tech savvy, whatever you want to list, you need to have that on your marketing materials so that the right potential client will self-identify as being a good prospect for you. Okay, because when we leave it so open, like, I work with small business owners. Okay, okay, so what if I'm doing $50,000 in annual revenues? Am I a good prospect for you? Or what if I'm doing $5 million in annual revenues? Am I a good prospect for you? Well, I don't know, because you didn't say. And so you want people to self-identify as being a potential good prospect for you. And honestly, your marketing has to then repel the people that are not a good fit for you, because marketing is all about yeses and nos. Yes to your ideal clients, and no to clients who would not be a good fit for you. And so again, you want to make sure that that's on all of your marketing materials. And if you have a niche, that you're very, very clear that that is your niche. So for example, if you go to our website at mavensd.com, and Jesse, if you want to share that link, you'll see that we're very specific on who we work with and what we do for them. And we don't deviate for, oh, well, if you're not an e-commerce seller, we'll still work with you. No, we work with primarily Shopify sellers. We're very specific on who we work with. Next, you want to include in your marketing message what you do for them. What is the value that you bring to them? How can you help them? And I'll talk about that shortly. And then also a call to action. What do you want them to do after they've engaged with your marketing? Many of you lack that. Like, you'll do a great job of like, hey, here I am. And you're very interested in that person. And then you don't know what to do next. It's not clear. So I'm going to talk about what you do for people and how you can communicate that. And we'll talk about the call to action here in a moment. Oh, before I do that, so about you. Okay. Remember I said sometimes we're sending the wrong messages. We don't even know that we are. So your headshot is, I think all of you can make this change. Okay. So what kind of messaging are you sending with your headshot? Either, number one, you're not using one. You definitely are sending a message that you are not open to connecting with people. If you do that on social media, if there's not a picture of you on social media, people assume you're not really open to connecting. And so you need some sort of picture of you. But notice here how I took this picture in the exact same room, but I did very differently. The first picture, I did a selfie. I don't have very good lighting. The background in the back, it's not very nice. It's messy. And so it's sending a message. This headshot on the left is sending a message of maybe I'm not that serious because I just stood there and took a selfie, versus the picture on the right, which is in the same room, but I staged the background a little bit. I used a different camera, and some of you have, even on your smartphones, you have a portrait setting that will blur the background. And so you can do that. I used better lighting as well. And I actually I went in and edited out some of the wrinkles and things, okay, just to make it like freshen it up a little bit. It still looks like me, but I'm being honest, it is edited somewhat. And just because, maybe I don't like those, that line under my eyes. And so I freshened it. I'm going to use that word. I freshened it up a little bit. But notice how there's a difference in those two pictures, and even the angle. Like the second picture, I'm looking, at least to me, it feels like I'm looking right at you. And so you have to even look at, again, your headshot might be sending a message about you that is not the message that you want to send. Now, you don't have to spend a lot of money. As I said, I took the second picture, I took it myself. I didn't spend a lot of money. it took a little bit of time to do, but I highly, highly recommend that you have a good headshot of yourself. And if there are parts of you don't like, just go in and edit them out a little bit. But people want to connect with real people. Now, going back to how do you help your ideal client? There's a formula that you can use, and it's called the I help formula. At least I call it that, the I help formula. And basically, when people ask you what you do, or even in all of your marketing messaging, when you say what you do for them, it's not I'm a bookkeeper, I'm an accountant, I'm a tax preparer. What you need to say is I help, and then insert your ideal client, okay, two. And then you're going to insert what you help them to do to achieve their desired goal. Okay, so I help, fill in the blank, to fill in the blank. Okay, let's look at some examples of that. I used ChatGPT to help me put this together. So ChatGPT wrote these for me. Okay, so and you have the handout, so you'll get the rest of them. I'm just going to show you 3 of them for the sake of time. Number 1, I help ambitious entrepreneurs skyrocket their success by taking the headache out of bookkeeping, allowing them to focus on what they do best. I would probably change that a little bit, and maybe ambitious entrepreneurs. It could be, I help restaurant owners skyrocket their success, or I help dentists, or I help, whatever, e-commerce sellers. Okay, so put in your niche or your ideal client. I help service-based business owners. I help marketing agency owners. Okay, so I think you get the idea. Number 2, I help overwhelmed small business owners conquer their financial chaos and pave the way to prosperity. And then number 3, or rather number 7, I help creative geniuses monetize their talent by taming the accounting beast and maximizing their earnings. Okay, some of these, I would kind of feel like maybe that doesn't sound like me. So these are starting points. And as I said, I got ChatGPT to help me out. You can, you can go into ChatGPT. You can get some of this from ChatGPT, and then you can rewrite it in a way that sounds more genuine to, based on what you're doing. Aisha says, I did a home photo shoot and used her iPhone and a lighting kit I bought on Amazon, did my own hair and makeup. It turned out really well. To her surprise, very professional looking, true bootstrapping in action. Absolutely. I think the cameras that we have nowadays, the lighting, even just actually for my headshot, I used that was natural light. I was in front of a window. It was the right time of day. I had beautiful lighting. That's what I used. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to get a nice headshot. All right. Now, remember I talked about your messaging must also include a call to action. So the call to action is basically, what do you want your prospective client to do next? And that should be to book a discovery call with you. So you want to make sure that that is also on all of your marketing materials. Not to call you on the phone, not to send an email, but to book a discovery call with you. I use Acuity Scheduling as a calendar app. Some people use Calendly. That's another one that you can do. And then I meet my prospective clients via Zoom. Now let's take a look at some messaging in action, an effective marketing messaging in action. Okay, how many of you are familiar with Buc-ee's? Let me know in the chat. I think that's more of a Southern thing but Buc-ee's is basically, I had to look up, how would I describe Buc-ee's? Because it's sort of a thing here in Texas, and I know in other states, but it's basically I would call it a mega convenience store / gas station, and a rest stop known for having the world's cleanest restroom. And you'll see a lot of them here in Texas. If you're driving, if you're going on road trips, and Texas is big, so we have several Buc-ee's along the way, and it's huge. It's just amazing the number of people that want to go to a place that has a clean bathroom, apparently. And then Buc-ee's has been very smart to add on branded food and souvenirs and all sorts of things. But notice in this case that there's an emotion. Party like a rock star. Okay, so if we're on the road and we have to go, okay, we want a clean restroom, right? So it's saying party like a rock star. And it's appealing to people who are on the road because we're looking at a billboard. And what's the call to action? In 21 miles, then you need to stop at Buc-ee's. And Buc-ee's is very smart because they will start, at least in my area, like 60 miles away. They start with the signs on the road. Buc-ee's, 60 miles. Buc-ee's, 50 miles. And so, and they're even saying like, hold it and wait till you get to Buc-ee's. And so their call to action is basically you need to stop in 21 miles at Buc-ee's. So it's very clear. And their ideal customers are people on the road, on a road trip, who need to use the bathroom and apparently need to eat all of the food that they're going to sell you while you're there. And Jean says, no Buc-ee's there yet. And some of you are saying you have them in Southwest or Southeast Georgia, some in Tennessee, Brazoria County, where it started. Yeah. So yeah, some of you are familiar with Buc-ee's, and Karen says she loves Buc-ee's. So look them up if you're not familiar with them. And here's a couple of brands that you're very familiar with: Burger King and McDonald's. Burger King's slogan is "You Rule," and their ideal customers want choices. So Burger King provides a customer-centric experience. You get to tell Burger King how you want your burger done. McDonald's slogan is "I'm loving it." They appeal to lower to middle class customers who are interested in fast, cheap, and convenient food. So you would think that they're competing, but are they? Because they're appealing to different types of customers. One provides a very customer-centric experience that maybe is not as fast as McDonald's, whereas McDonald's is just like you want to be in and out and you want to eat the French fries. Here's another example: Target and Walmart. Target's motto is expect more and pay less. And the data shows that a typical Target shopper is actually a suburban mother between the ages of 35 and 44, and who have some college education and have a household income of $80,000. Walmart, on the other hand, says you'll save money and live better. And the people who shop at Walmart are typically associated with low to middle income class families who want a one-stop, convenient, and attractively priced shopping experience. And so again, they seem like similar stores, but they're really not, because when you look at their marketing, they're appealing to different kinds of people and giving a different experience. Now let's look at some people who are in our own industry. So this is Danae. And Danae, first of all, just take a look at just what I'm showing you here, which is part of her website, the look and feel of her website. The company name is the Chic CFO. Look at the colors. Look at the picture. Look at what she's wearing. Even this like clear background. There's already an emotion there of someone who's friendly, maybe even clarity, even in the negative space that is there. The colors appeal to females. The name, the company name, the Chic CFO appeals to females. Look at how she describes herself. She's a financial clarity coach, profit strategist, and virtual CFO. She's not saying she's a bookkeeper or accountant. She's using words that would resonate with her ideal client. And she has a call to action. Tell me more. So I think she's doing a great job of with her branding, with her messaging, with her call to action. Even the colors, the company name, it appeals to some people, it repels others. She probably only works with females, I'm guessing, just from looking at the way she has communicated her message. This is Cameron Williams with Kinley Accounting, and his niche is marketing agencies and coaches. And notice it's right there. He provides CFO services and consulting for marketing agencies and experts. And again, call to action right there, learn more. But look at the smiling face. I mean, I love the headshot here, the photo of him, because it's just so welcoming. I think his photo in particular to me just speaks 1,000 words just without saying anything, just because he looks so friendly. He looks professional but casual at the same time. Like he's not wearing a tie, but he's wearing a suit. And so maybe that appeals to you. Maybe you want to work with somebody like that who dresses like him. Or, you know what, I'd prefer to work with someone who's wearing a t-shirt. I don't know. But again, his marketing appeals to some people, attracts some people, repels others. And also, Cameron is very, very consistent on his social media. He shares about personal things, but is very much focused on what he does, how he saves his clients money on taxes, and he's posting on a very, very consistent basis. And then this is Fearless Financials. And notice right away the color choices, very bold color choices. The name of the company, Fearless. They're fearless. They want their clients to be fearless. And again, the contrast and the colors, the complementary colors, even the sort of the purple and the yellow, that it's in your face. And how they describe themselves: life-centered accounting for folks who dare to be themselves in business. And their call to action: start with the Fearless questionnaire. So they have apparently a questionnaire that you would start with. By the way, their website is fearlessfinancials.co.uk. So they are in the UK. And notice how they describe their ideal clients and how they help those clients. We champion creative, indie, and community-focused businesses with heart, helping them remove the fear from finance and build healthy, happy businesses. So notice nowhere in here are they saying we're bookkeepers. We work with small business owners. We do the reconciliations. They're very much using color and the words that they chose to describe their ideal clients to attract and to repel. So if you went to this website and you think like, whoa, that is just too bright for me, then yeah, you wouldn't be an ideal client for them. And they're willing to take, I think all of the ones who I have shown you, they've taken a risk, and it is a risk to repel some people, but the reward is that you're attracting the right clients. For additional inspiration, go to wearepf.com. So WeArePF is a marketing agency for accounting firms, and I worked with them a few years ago. They helped me with my own branding. And so if you go to the website wearepf.com/marketing-stories, then you'll be able to see a lot of examples of what I've talked about, because they're so good at helping people to really clarify their message and their branding and clarify who their ideal client is. Let's talk about amplifying your message. How do we amplify our message? So once we know what our message is, how are we going to amplify our message? First of all, notice that I put investing, basically paid ads or hiring professionals or hiring people to do your social media. I put it last, because until you have clarity into your message and are clear on where you need to be amplifying your message, you probably don't need to be spending money on marketing, just because, again, it's not going to attract the right clients. But the ways in which we can amplify our message is locally: friends, family, acquaintances, networking, referral sources, social media, Facebook groups. Online networking is, I think, very effective, especially in Facebook groups. If you become a giver, and if people know what you specialize in, they will start referring clients to you. You can also use the web. Google, your Google business profile is one in which you can then attract local clients. The QuickBooks Find a Pro Advisor listing, your own website, freelancer websites. There's also affiliations, industry associations, industry conferences, public speaking, as well as content, whether it's video, long form video on YouTube, short form video on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Blogging is another, podcast is another, and as I said, finally, investing to work with a social media manager or marketing agency, or even doing paid ads. Okay, so now we're going to go into the section that I'm excited about to give you live feedback on some of your marketing materials. So what I would like you to do is, if you have a website and you would like me to give you my honest feedback and positive feedback about your website, then in the chat, put your website URL so that I can give you feedback. Or if you don't have a website, your Facebook page would be another, perhaps even your personal Facebook profile if you're trying to use that to promote your business. And so do that, and I'll just pick a few at random and give you some feedback. And I see some of you already started. Oh my goodness. Okay, we have several. I'm going to pick Yuri just because they went, or Yuyi, sorry. And they went first. So I'm going to start with that. But, if you want feedback, let me know. And give me 1 second to get that pulled up on my end, and so I can share it. And let's see. Share screen. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I forgot I was doing this and now I didn't get it set up. Hold on 1 second. I did not forget I was doing it. I just forgot to set it up the right way. Okay. foremostbookkeeping.com. Okay. And let me share screen. Okay. I think you guys should be able to see foremostbookkeeping.com. And get the chat in front of me. All right. So I've never seen these, so I'm going to give my honest feedback. All right. So first of all, for our website, we call this section that you can see here on the left the above the fold section, which means this is what we can see when we first go in. And we have about probably just only a couple of seconds to gain the attention of an ideal client. And so typically we want to then have something in this section, and hopefully if you cannot see what I'm doing, let me know. But I think you can. Yeah. Yes, you can. Okay. So in this above the fold section, that we want to then create something that's going to cause our ideal client to have an emotional response. Okay. So I do like where it says empowering you to thrive while eliminating the anxiety and confusion of business management. But it's hard to see because of this. It's a little like with the white and the gray, my eyes don't quite know where to go. And especially because then the green is calling my attention. And so what I would probably do is rework this to maybe have a different image. And even the shopping cart, I don't know if that's the best thing. My eye wants to go to the shopping cart and I'm missing this. And I feel like this empowering you to thrive, I would probably make that the like big letters, and make that maybe my motto, like empowering you to thrive. and have that bigger. And e-commerce, so I would focus on e-commerce bookkeeping demystified, and then empowering you to thrive. And then I also like the wording about eliminating the anxiety and confusion. I may even put that below. So maybe have like to where my eye can then focus on about 3 messages to start with. Then let's see, it goes into who we are. I would like to see a picture of you here, or something maybe that leads me to get to know like who we are. I want to know about you, and not necessarily, I mean, I do like the integrity, customer service, and family, but perhaps something that now I can then see that I'm working with a real person. And I love this. Get your books done without having to lift a finger. Yes, please. So this evokes a lot of emotion. Like, hey, you're going to take this burden off of me, and then my call to action. So I'm going to click on yes, please, to then see what is your call to action. Oh, I love it. Okay. So free consultation call. And then, yeah, so it goes right into your discovery call. What I would probably steer away from maybe is a free consultation. That means that you're going to give me free advice and I don't have to pay you for it. I would probably change it to free discovery call. And then maybe say that so we can learn about each other, because a free consultation, now I'm attracting, remember, this webinar is attracting the right clients. So we want to attract the clients who are serious about hiring us, and not the client that just wants something for free. But I think you're almost there with that, with your call to action. And yeah, so I think, and I like how we help. Oh, and I love it here. Schedule a time to chat with me now. So I think the main 3 things I would change. One is make this a bit clear on the eyes for me to see, and maybe see if you can you fill the whole page with that image. If not, just work on maybe having more contrast with your image, with your wording, and then the who we are or the about us. To then, okay, so here there you are. See, but you were hiding. And so I think if I were to go back to the home page where it says about us, I would probably have a picture of you here, and then have it to click to learn more. That takes me then to your about us page. Okay, let me go to I'm gonna do Stephanie's Facebook page, Stephanie Smith, because she knows I like her social media. So let's see what Stephanie has. Oh, actually, I wonder if it's gonna let me into Facebook, because I'm not logged in. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, so you should be able to see that. Yeah. Okay, so Stephanie, first of all, she's front and center. Here I am. She's got a picture, which I have always admired that about Stephanie. And I actually became friends with Stephanie because of her social media, because I kept seeing it and saying like, oh, wow, I really need to know this lady because she does a really good job. And okay, so this is her company Facebook page. And why choose Zen bookkeeping? So finances don't have to be overwhelming. I would probably make this, the finances don't have to be overwhelming, probably here, like big, because again, I'm trying to get someone's attention in like just a couple of seconds. So if I can hit them with something that's going to resonate, I would go that direction of finances don't have to be overwhelming, and bigger font. And I would not and I would use something that's easy to read. I do like the cursive, but I would use it maybe somewhere else or below. Again, the free consultation, I'm more of a fan of a free discovery call, because free consultation means, for some people, that means like, hey, I'm getting it for free, and then you don't attract the right clients with that. Again, here's another picture of Stephanie. The name of the company is Zen Bookkeeping. And then she's got, again, very clear call to action to book now. And let's see, her introduction. My name is Stephanie Smith, DBA in bookkeeping with a bachelor's. Okay, so your intro, Stephanie, it's a little dry. I think, again, I would focus on this part. Maybe our bookkeeping services will help you reduce stress and save time. I would probably put more of that in your intro because, again, I want to continue that emotion of I'm going to reduce the overwhelm. And so just continue that message so that the brain keeps engaged on like, how is she going to help me do that? And let's see, I would probably change your featured post because it's from 2018, so people might think it's a little old. And let's see, your post, so you're posting on a regular basis. Yeah, and Stephanie is very good about posting on a regular basis, so that's great. And I even like your photos, which I'm sure you're using on your Instagram also, that are very again, we talked about cohesive messaging, that we want that look and feel, as well as the words that we're using to look cohesive. Fantastic. Yeah, that's great, Stephanie, and you do a very good job with your social media. Let me see who else. I'm gonna go to Movi because I know she has a niche, so I want to see what she's doing with her niche. Okay. Yeah. So this is Movi Harris. So MBS, Money Max Bookkeeping Service. I'm going to focus on your company name and your logo here. So I like the MBS. I'm not sure what I feel like now there's too much information, Money Max and bookkeeping services, what they have to do with each other, or like, how does MBS relate to Money Max, or is that part of the company name? And perhaps even maybe just put MBS. And the reason I say that again is because this is the above the fold in section. And so we don't want to make it hard for someone to like now be confused by why is there so much wording there? Because our brain they'll just be like, oh, okay, I'm confused, and move on to something else. All right, so then you're saying specializing in virtual bookkeeping and accounting and tax solutions for 6 to 7 figure mental health practices across the United States. Okay, I like this, but this is like who you work best with, which is very important. I would probably not put it here. I would put it somewhere a little bit below and focus on this section being something that evokes emotion of like, how do you help mental health practice? And I would probably say owners, because you're talking to mental health practices, but not mental health practice owners. And so they may not feel like you're talking to them directly. So focus in this section on how do you help them achieve a goal, and then save this section for a little further down. Taking your practice to the next level can be a struggle. And maybe even like, if that's the focus, taking your practice to the next level, that's what needs to go up here or something like that. I like this image for a couple of reasons. One, there's emotion there. I also like that your images are inclusive. We have to be careful with that too, of not everybody looks like us. And so we need to have images that are inclusive of different people. And let's see what else we have. Another accounting tax solution. Yeah. And this, maybe this bookkeeping / accounting / tax, it's kind of long, maybe hard to read. And so maybe maybe use bookkeeping or use accounting as one word, and then call it like accounting and tax solutions instead of like / is a little too long. Let's see. Hope you. Okay. And oh, I like the 3-step methodology. So this is another way in which we can then be clear on how do we work with you. So we're going to do setup and diagnostic and cleanup, then performance and reports, and then management, growth, and advisory. I really like that, of letting someone know how you work with them. And okay, so let me just click real quick on the get started. So again, you're very clear. Yeah, I think that's good. Be clear on who you work with. And then you've got the discovery call, consultation. Okay, so now I see it's Money Max Bookkeeping. Okay. If you're going to provide taxes, I would probably consider changing your company name just to Money Max. So like Money Max LLC, and refer to it as Money Max would probably be more effective, because again, our messaging is like, hey, we do bookkeeping, well, we also do taxes. It might be a bit of a disconnect. And I know some of you, and I think maybe you have added taxes after. And so you might consider renaming your company, which I know I just went through that. It's not I say it with the best intention, but I know it takes a lot of time to do that. Let's see. I'm going to look at Lori's website, who is in Canada. Let me see how I'm doing on time. Okay. Oh, how happy. I've seen. Now, did you notice when I said when you look at the above the fold, and it evokes an emotion? Did you notice how it immediately had an emotion of like happy? Okay, so that's what we're talking about. And I did not plan to do that, but it just came out. Okay, so let's see. This is Lori, and let's see, McKay Bookkeeping, keeping you on track, contact. Okay, I love the picture. I feel like maybe there's a little too much here with the phone number. I probably, if you want them to, if you, like I said, I don't like clients calling me. And so I would not put the phone number there. I might put it in contact us if you want the client to call you. But, and I would probably change this to learn more instead of contact. And I would, let me see the rest of your website. Okay, I can already tell you this font, it's a little bit hard to read. So I would maybe use a different font here, just because cursive makes it hard to read. And anything that is confusing or hard, our brains check out. And so then people they click away without even knowing. It's just sort of a subconscious thing that we do. And so you might change your font here. Let's see, small businesses, corporate. Okay, so this is one again that maybe I'm trying to talk to lots of different clients, and perhaps I mean, you might work with all of those. I don't know, but maybe focus more on who do you work with, that where they can self-identify. And okay. What I'm trying to do is sort of make the connection between the flower and the rest of your website. Oh, what a beautiful photo. That's wonderful. Yeah, love it. I think I would probably even put, because there's something about the flower and the color that you're using that is very personal, that I would probably put something in your about that is like, hi, I'm Lori, and I blah, 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 like very personalized, because it's reading like a resume, and there's something about your photo and the colors and the flower that it's actually making me want to know a lot more about you. But I think that I would, if you put this flower there for a reason, maybe you love flowers or botanicals, or that's your favorite color, I don't know, but I think I would then extend that theme more throughout the website. And maybe even the like your motto, or the of something about blooming or something related to flowers to really bring out the theme, because I feel like there's a bit of a disconnect between what I'm getting here versus what I'm getting in the rest of the website. So that would be my initial background or rather feedback. And then your photos, again, like make it all, if you're going to use flowers or botanicals, go throughout, like use it throughout. Because there's a disconnect now, and these images are lit a bit dry versus the flower. And so what might be happening, and I don't, maybe you get a lot of clients, I don't know, from your website, but there's a bit of a disconnect in between what I experienced above the fold and then what's below. That, again, sometimes we're sending the wrong message and don't know why. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you do have male clients, perhaps the whole flower botanical might be a little too female. So you might have to then consider what would be appropriate for your audience. And let's see what else we have. Let me look at this one. Susan, Lola Financial, because that's an interesting name. Oh. So this is Susan with Lola Financial Solutions. And already I feel like you're telling me you work with females. And it says empowering small businesses to achieve their financial goals. Okay, so let me keep looking. Here to help you thrive. I like this. Maybe even more up here, maybe some personalizing this a bit more. And again, I don't know who your ideal client is, but I'm looking. Set up and training, bookkeeping, accounting, CFO, and advisory. I like that. That is very, very clear on what you do. Oh, nice. Okay. So, Lola, your website, and correct me if I'm wrong, is looks like it appeals to females. At least that's what I can see. And maybe that's what you're intending, maybe not, but that's how it's coming across. So if that's the case, and if you do work with females, then I would probably put empowering female business owners to achieve their financial goals, and maybe even go a bit deeper and make it a bit more personalized to that specific client. You go to about. Oh, actually like this so much more for your homepage. We're passionate about helping you grow and make an impact. Okay, so we have Susan. Very nice. Beautiful picture. Okay. Yeah, so let's see. Working accounting manager to share my skills and expertise with aspiring business owners, especially women, minority. Oh, okay. I mean, you have an ideal client here. You said aspiring business owners, women, minorities, LGBT, and others who may not fit societal views of a typical successful entrepreneur. Okay, so if that is the case, I think that needs to be front and center. Along with, I really love this this part, but that needs to be more on you in your home page, to really show that is who you want to work with. Because otherwise, again, there's that bit of, are you talking to me? Are you not? Maybe I'm seeing on social media that you work with certain types of people. Then I come to your website and it's not really talking to me. And then there's that disconnect. All right. I think I'm not going to have time to answer your questions. I don't know if you guys are okay with that. If I look at another website, let me just look at the Q&A real quick, and we may. Okay, I'm just going to finish with the feedback. I just see a couple of questions, and I'll tackle that for the next 5 minutes, if you guys are okay with that. And let's see. So there was a question about what do you think about using AI headshots? And let me go to, hold on one second. Okay. So what do you think about using AI headshots? If they look like you and they look real, I think you could use it, but for the most part, they don't look real. And honestly, recently I went to, I think it was jcpenney.com to do online shopping, and they had only AI models, and I just did not care for it. So I think if it looks like a real person like you can use it, but otherwise don't. Janice says, what if I don't have a website to attract clients? So go to Canva. You can get a one-page website on Canva. You need something. Okay. So you need, even if it's just the one page and it's just like the above the full section, your picture and what you do, who I work best with, and the book an appointment. That's what you need, just because it's part of showing that we are, we're building a legitimate business. And especially if you have to tell somebody you don't have a website, that's, again, we're looking for clients who can afford to pay for our services. And so a client that's more of a premium client expects you to have certain things. They expect you to have things together, because otherwise then you come across as maybe you're not experienced enough or legitimate enough. Let's see. And I'm kind of skipping around, and sorry, just because we're running out of time. Maddie says, asks, what do you think of cold calls and or visiting the business and giving my business card? Is it worth it? And should I do it? I think if you don't have clients and you have the time to do that, or you don't have a lot of clients, by all means, especially some of the businesses say like you wanted to specialize working with veterinarians, it would be great to then take them in a little basket with cookies, bake your cookies if you're a good baker, or buy them, whatever works for you, and your business card, and maybe, some information, and make sure that in that case, the practice manager gets that basket. But it's worth it if you'll get a client. And while you have time, then by all means do that. Alexia is asking, what is an alternative to a consultation call? Is what I call a free discovery call. So a free discovery call is so that you can learn about your prospective client and their needs, and so that they can learn about how you do business. But it's not a free consultation, because consultation means that now they're going to be asking you questions, and you're going about their, how do I fix my books, or things that they need to be paying for. And Moby's asking, what do you think about adding pricing to the website, like starts from? I have that in a brochure that people can request with some of my pricing, and a lot of it is like starting from, or people paid, this much for a cleanup, something that gives people some sort of idea of what you charge. And I think you should have that. I'm not a big believer in having like service packages with like flat pricing, and because people will just latch on to whatever you've posted on the website, and you need to give yourself the opportunity to price each client individually. Let's see. Mary says, that is wild. My coach is big on free consultation call, and I never thought about the way she's presenting it. Must change to discovery. At least in my opinion, again, that I think a discovery call helps you to, again, we're looking at finding the right clients who value what you do and who are willing and able to pay for it. And so they shouldn't get a free consultation, meaning they're going to get free answers to the questions and problems that they're having. Going to the top of the list, Jan Christine says, Veronica, based on your experience, what platform is the best to share bookkeeping service messages of a newbie freelance bookkeeper to attract the prospect's attention? I think it depends on where your ideal client is. I think it's easy enough to do it in your own Facebook profile. And then most people do in LinkedIn. If you are then working with clients who are more professional, service-based, they're going to be on LinkedIn. And Instagram is one where like coaches, consultants, e-commerce sellers are on Instagram. So different people are on different sites. Facebook, I think, is very effective, especially Facebook groups, because then you can be known by the community as being the go-to expert for like mental health practices, for example. And so then people remember that that's what you specialize in, and then they'll send referrals to you. And let's see. There's a question from Aisha on what prompts did you use in Chat GPT? That's a great question. And I knew somebody would ask me and I forgot. I think I just told it that I have a bookkeeping business and I needed it to fill in the I help fill in the blank to fill in the blank. Then I told it that and then I basically told it the first fill in the blank is my ideal customer or client, and then the second fill in the blank is how I help them with their bookkeeping, and I think that's how I got those. And okay, Maddie says, to me, it's already hard to get any client. If I choose a niche, then will I never get a client? I am open to getting any clients, but I'm not getting any at all. Okay, so I would focus, as I said before, Maddie, on who is your ideal client and be very specific on who that person is, because the clearer you are on who they are, the easier it will be for you to identify who they are. Because remember, I said if you speak to everyone, you're speaking to no one. And so you have to be clear on who that ideal client is, and then focus on how you can help them to solve their problems. And I wouldn't worry about niche too much. I think you may need to first work on your messaging, and I think you're focused on any client for anything, for any price. And again, messaging needs to speak to that ideal client to where they know that you're talking to them. And let me give you an example, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. Yeah, almost out of time. So for example, like I say I have the 5MB Academy, and I help you to become a confident business owner. But which bookkeepers? Brand new bookkeepers, experienced bookkeepers? There's many different kinds of bookkeepers that I help. And so I have to be specific on who is the ideal bookkeeper that I help. The ideal bookkeeper that I help is one that already has gone through bookkeeper training, and they need help with their systems and their processes and with improving their business. I'm going to leave you because not leave you, show you one last thing because I completely forgot. Give me 1 second. Switch screen. And sorry, I'm sharing my actual presentation, but I forgot to share. Speaking of the 5MB Academy, we have a 10% discount on the 5MB Academy courses. So just if you can share the link to the 5MB Academy, then you can get 10% off on all 5MB Academy courses. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope that the feedback that I gave you all on the websites and Facebook page were helpful to you to help you to start crafting your marketing message in a more effective way. And remembering that your messaging can be based on what you say, what you do, what your marketing says about you, whether you're saying it or not, because sometimes our lack of saying it is also sending a message. So again, thank you so much, and I will see you next month. Bye.